Hey guys, MeLikeBigBoom here, and welcome to Unturned 3.14.16.0. This week's update mainly adds two awesome new improvements or additions to the game, one of which allows modders to include their modded weapons into the official map spawns, allowing you to subscribe to modded weapon packs and have those weapons spawn inside of Washington and PI, as well as some networking improvements that made player, zombie, vehicle, animal, all that movement a lot more responsive and very cool looking. But we are going to take a look at those after we check out some of these more minor additions into the game. Let's start with the 13 new curated workshop items. A lot of awesome new curated workshop items were added to the game this week. Check these out. Starting from left to right, we have the tribal Zubeknikov, and now this is created by G.SKILL, and he also created this skin and this skin and this skin, so lots of new skins added by G.SKILL here. All of his skins have these super cool looking designs on them with these like cloudy kind of brushes and fiery smoky look to them, and it's pretty cool looking. So this is the tribal Zubeknikov with its orange and black and kind of cream color scheme, very cool. And then down below we have the fire breather rocket launcher created by Fife or whatever you want to call it. Very cool, kind of reminds me of like these Chinese dragon designs. Very cool. It's got these I want to say Chinese, but it very well might be wrong. Wording on the back and then on the side here and on the handle. Very cool looking as well. That is the fire breather rocket launcher. And then over to the right we have the cryptic collection. Holy crap. 5 new cryptic weapons added into the game. These have been very popular on the curated workshop. They're kind of a sci-fi theme with also these like dragon designs on it, which are pretty cool as well. These were created by Spitfire. We have the katana up at the top, the cobra right here, the honey badger right here. This is going to be my favorite. I'm definitely going to use this. We also have the eagle fire, also very cool with the dragon design kind of wrapping around, and then the timberwolf down here. We have 3 timberwolf skins this week, so there's going to be some competition here, so you guys should vote which timberwolf skin you guys like most once I get through those. That was a cryptic collection. And then right here we have the evil Yuri, very cool with a cream, blue, and black design, also in the same kind of pattern as you can see here with these like flame, I want to say either flame or kind of smoke look. And then over here we have the sandstorm timberwolf, very cool. So originally I was looking at this, it looks like black flames, but then also at the same time you can look at it and it's also like a sandstorm with this sand color looking like a cloud of sand or a cloud of dust. And then we have the Dragon Serpent Timberwolf, created by Soto. He also created the Dragon Serpent Maple Strike. It was very well received and a lot of people liked it. And now here is the Timberwolf version of that Dragon Serpent Maple Strike. And then also to the right we have the Sandstorm pattern on the Desert Falcon. So as you can see here, same design, same color, except on the Desert Falcon. So you can have a sniper combination with having the Timberwolf and the Desert Falcon as your secondary, both with the same pattern. Pretty cool. And then a very funny addition at the end with the watermelon Chris Correct. Look at that. Very interesting. The watermelon Chris Correct was created by G.SKILL. Very cool. So those are all the skins. Lots and lots of awesome new things. Be sure to vote on the poll card to decide which Timberwolf skin is your favorite. Also down below we now have a little water icon above my stats here, indicating that I am in fact dying of thirst. So now it's a little bit more of an indicator, letting you know that you are dying of thirst or you are dying of hunger, so you know when to eat an MRE or some sort of food when that reaches 0. Because sometimes I'll be playing normally and then everything starts getting gray and I'm like, oh god, I've been dying of hunger this entire time, and so that helps you realize that sooner. Over to the left here I have 3 different melee weapons on trophy cases, because these melee weapons now can be salvaged. Any sort of melee weapon that you find out in the world, or at least a lot of melee weapons that you find out in the world, can be salvaged into the source materials just like weapons. So now whenever you have like weapons and you don't really need a melee weapon, before you'd find a melee weapon and you just wouldn't pick it up. There's no reason for you to do so. Now there is at least a little bit of reason, because you can pick up the melee weapon and then you can turn it into scrap metal, and these are some stuff. I just turned my rock into great. Also, rocket launchers were fixed. Before they had a problem where the rockets would just disappear after like every once in a while, and now they no longer disappear. You can shoot them as far as you'd like and it will keep going and it will keep going and it will explode right where it lands, just like it's supposed to. Also at the same time, you can shoot it directly up, but I would not recommend doing so. You'd better get out of the way. And there it goes. Yep. So, rocket launcher's fixed. Very cool. Also similar to power radii, claim flags now, once you are holding another claim flag, display the radius of the claim flag so you know when to put another one down. So I have a claim flag up here already placed, and I notice here that when I hold another claim flag, it's not entirely reaching the edge of our base. As you can see here, the claim flag that's already been placed down is currently reaching right about here. So we now know that we should probably put a claim flag right here, so that now that wall disappears and now we are pretty much covering this entire base, claiming it as our own. The same applies to safe zone radius. As you can see here, we have a green radius here, indicating that we are not fully covering our entire base in this safe zone area. So I will put down another one here to solve that problem as well. Also, this was sort of a minor change, but I think it's really cool. All the wheat fields and corn fields around in PI in Washington have been replaced with objects now. So before they were part of foliage, and if you turned off your foliage, people hiding in the wheat could be seen by people who had the foliage setting off. And so to combat that, Nelson just simply removed the foliage option, but then also at the same time, people with low-end computers, that kind of impacted them because they were forced to have their foliage setting on ultra. Now we have a best of both worlds. The foliage setting is back right here in the graphics settings. We can now turn it on and off, and now wheat fields are always going to look like this. So this is what it looked like before. As you can see, kind of scarcely placed little wheat things, and then now after, with the wheat being objects, you can see that the wheat fields are a lot more dense and you can really actually hide in these wheat fields. And also because the wheat is an object, you can see it from super far away. So snipers on a hill a mile away will still not see you when you're hiding in that field. So pretty cool. Those are the new wheat and corn fields. Also, in the controls menu, we now have the option of toggling or holding the leaning function. So now when I click E, I will stay leaned. So it's very useful when you're trying to kind of peek around corners. Sometimes it's difficult to hold Q and then press A. It's just uncomfortable to make your hand work like that. So now you can just press Q and then you can focus completely on movement when you're going around these corners. So pretty cool. Before, oil derricks or pump jacks had to be placed on gravel or dirt, like on the side of that mountain or next to these roads, but now they can be placed on grass so that bases built hidden and up in the hills can have an oil empire just as much as the ones in the city. When going in the crafting menu, things that you can craft will have green text and will appear at the top of the crafting list. Things that you can't craft will be down at the bottom with red text. Now for this overhauled craft system, I'm just going to read the too long didn't read section of the update notes because that is what matters to most of the players. But if you guys are modders, Nelson provided a little bit of instructions on how to set this up yourself, and I will link that in the description down below in the update post. But basically, workshop mod creators can set up their content to automatically start spawning on official maps. So for example, a pack that adds some rare guns, they could start spawning in the Spec Ops weaponry table. Map creators can also opt into this system, which means that when new content is added to the game or subscribed to from the workshop, it will spawn it on their maps. So if you subscribe to a mod where the mod creators set up these spawn tables and stuff, it will then begin spawning in their respective areas on the map. If it's a rare sniper or something, hopefully they put it in the Spec Ops weaponry table and then it will begin spawning rarely at bases and all that good stuff. If you guys are mod creator yourself, he provided some instructions there in the update post, and that is going to be in the description down below. It's very, very cool. Before, you could only spawn stuff or you had to play on a custom map that happened to have it in the spawn tables, and now that's completely out of the picture. You subscribe to a mod that has this set up and it will begin spawning in all the maps that you play. So very cool. Now, in regards to the new networking changes, as I had briefly talked about before, anything that moves, players, vehicles, zombies, animals, all that good stuff, they are now going to be super responsive on servers. Now, last week or all the time before, player movement and all that stuff was kind of smooth and gradual, and whenever people looked around rapidly or jumped around rapidly, they kind of fluttered around, if that kind of makes sense. Some of you guys might have already known this. It was just kind of a thing that you accepted and things were all kind of gradual and stuff like that. But now movement is super super responsive. As you can see here, I went into a PvE server with 3 other guys, and as you can see, they're jumping around and dragging the mouse all across their mouse pad, and it's super responsive. Look at how fast these people are moving and stuff like that. It's now just like what they are seeing on their screens. It's instantaneous, it's responsive, it's awesome. So now movement is a lot more responsive, and this also applies to vehicles and zombies and stuff like that. So while it hasn't been completely fixed, but whenever you get road killed by a car that's seemingly like 30 feet away, or hit by a zombie from like 10 feet away, or by a player from 10 feet away, that stuff is going to be greatly reduced as a result of this as well, and overall just networking as a whole was made a lot better. And so I'd highly recommend joining some sort of server and checking out the movement yourself. It's very cool, but that was pretty much everything that was added in Unturned 3.14.16.0. Now, while I did pay attention to some more additions and improvements and tweaks that I normally do, there were still quite a few minor ones that I missed in this update video. If you guys would like to check those out, as always, I will put the full update post in the description down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to rate, comment, subscribe, and do all that gibberish, because MeLikeBigBoom is out.